Today is top five right-handed shot defensemen for the 2026 NHL draft class. I have Ron and Russ on. Uh, Ron is obviously from RNJ Media, and Russ is Sportsology and a boatload of other things. How you guys doing?
Good, good.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, and
How are
obviously we
you
start
doing?
off.
How are
I'm
you
good.
doing? All right, okay.
I'm good. Ron, me and you had a conversation today about draft prospects hockey. I was on about six calls today with advertisers and other scouts. So I've been on the phone since like 9 a.m. It was a fun day. But yeah, things are picking up.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah,
right
man. By the way,
now,
congratulations.
yeah, thank
Congratulations
you.
Yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
the yeah, man. Congratulations on that, man. That's really exciting stuff, man. I can't wait to see where this goes.
Thanks. We just added 40 new contributors, so we went from like 50 to 90. So talking to everybody, onboarding people has been fun. And this is the draft year, so obviously 2026 is loaded. Uh,
hmm
I think like top 15 right now is probably pretty loaded, and as we get into the year, there's just going to be people that pop up like every year. But I think like this year, the top right-handed defenseman is obviously Keaton Verhoff, six
hmm
four, towering, incredibly offensively skilled, going to Notre Dame this year. I mean,
Yeah.
it's going to North Dakota this year, and I'm just really excited to watch this guy play. What do you guys think of Keaton Verhoff as the number one right-handed defenseman this year?
Yeah, I'll go next. I agree with it. I look at his catch and release, and it's really elite. I look at his it's just the smoothness of him. I always look for smoothness of defensemen. Great passer. His shot hits the net 26% of the time according to
Mm.
Instat, and that's a pretty good number. Like I found that if because really the more you hit the net, the more you're creating chances. It's not always about scoring; it's about getting it through. But he isn't that physical. That's the only thing that is a knock for me.
I can't agree with you more on that, Russ. I think that's the only thing that I see lacking in his game. I think he's a great on the penalty kill. He did really well, I thought, in the Halinka Gretzky Cup. I love the fact that he's a plus 23. Okay. As far as a defenseman is concerned, that to me speaks volumes when you're a hugely plus player like that. Not only that, but he also put up 45 points and he
hmm
did 21 goals himself. You know what I mean? So it, I think if he adds that little touch of physicality to his game, right? I, I yes, I agree. He'll be the number one defenseman taken off the board.
Yeah, and he actually elevated his game during the playoffs. Obviously, he was nearly a point per game player in the playoffs, 10 points in 11 games. But I think in the WHL for his second year in, he had a tough time in his first year in the WHL. And this is something that I
That
think
happens.
really, I think that this is something that like scouts and people that are into this sphere should look at. It's something that I saw with like Vaslav Nestrasil the year before. It's when you join a league and you're not necessarily ready for the league, how do you respond the next year? And in
hmm
12 games in his first year with the Royals, he only had 2 points. And it wasn't just like he was holding his own. He was a plus minus zero, which is just he was even, but he didn't really showcase his offensive ability as much. And then last year, he just was on a tear. He wasn't nearly a point per game player, but he was like a 0.67 percent. So I still think that that's really great for a young player like that. Going to North Dakota, I am a little worried because it is taking that jump. And obviously, we saw time and time again last year with players like James Haggins, Logan Hensler, even Colin Potter a little bit, that it kind of lowered their draft stock just a tad. And he's going to need to have a ridiculous season if he's going to be the number one
I don't know
pick.
if it, I don't know if it has to be ridiculous. Remember, they're known for their defense. They're known to be like a defensive factory. I think people are gonna course correct and understand that college hockey is really hard to begin with,
Well,
and this year is even harder.
I just mean ridiculous to overcome Gavin McKenna. Like he's going to need
Sure. I
a
mean,
ridiculous year to be the number one pick
Oh,
because
no,
that's
I
kind of
oh,
what we're
don't.
you're
talking
saying
about.
okay.
I
All
don't
right.
think that's gonna happen, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about him being the number one defenseman taken off the board. That's
Oh
what
No,
I
he
no,
was.
needs
I
number
think
one
that he's
overall.
clearly the number one defenseman. The only question is he gonna jump Gavin McKenna, which I think that there is a chance, like it's a 1% chance, but
Yeah,
it's
there's
still
always
a
Okay,
that
chance.
team.
there's okay, all
There's
right.
always that team that's like, listen, we need a defenseman so bad that you know what? If we get that number one pick, we're taking him. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always that chance.
I would buy that. I would buy that, but yeah, second overall maybe.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
that's the
think
likelihood.
Yeah,
him and Stenberg are gonna have to fight over that spot. I
Yeah, it's
think.
yeah.
kind of hard to fight a right-handed shot defenseman who's 6'4",
I know.
though.
Yeah.
And 212 pounds and has a really good shot and is a
Yeah,
plus player. And I mean,
yeah, it's hard
he's
to
got a
fight
lot.
that.
You're right. So he's got a lot of things going for him. And I really like him as the all-time number one defenseman going out this year. And that might affect his physicality too, because he's playing in the WHL and they're not really allowed to be, too. Did they not remove the fighting from the WHL? Is that where they removed that from, or is that the OHL?
I'm pretty sure who got into a fight. It was Roger McQueen. Didn't he get into a fight last year
Yeah, he
too?
did. Yeah,
Okay, I
So
wasn't
yeah,
sure
that's how
because
he
I
got hurt was with a fight. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I thought they had taken the fighting out of the league or
Mm-mm.
something like that. Okay, all right.
but the one thing is that to your point, the last point I'll make on Verhoff is he's 212 pounds, 6'4". You do want to see him use his body a little bit more. I think
Yeah.
he did show that internationally for at Halinka a little bit. But other than that, I think I would have wanted him to do it a little more. But he's so young, playing in the NCAA, he's going to need that added size. So I don't think it's going to hurt him at all being that size. He just needs to grow into that kind of physical game that he can play. But for number two, who do you guys have for right-handed defenseman?
A good question. I'm kind of leading towards Chase Reed, to be honest. I tell you why. 45% of his shots get through, which is a sick number. Uh,
Wow.
62% on puck battles won. He's also 6'2", 185, which is solid. Uh, yeah, he's calm and poised, knows how to walk the line. That's, he's a Michigan kid. And so that's, it's like, and he's one of those guys that if you give him the room, he'll walk in and take advantage of the situation offensively. I I look at him and I'm like, he's got all the measurables you want. It's him or maybe Rudolph, but I'm leading towards Reed this moment.
Okay. I like Reed. I was leaning towards Rudolph, but okay. I like his game. I think he plays big, Chase Reed. I think he plays a big game, and I like that about him. He has a really good shot, and he's got good vision when he's skating down the ice. He's able to anticipate the plays because he's able to read them. And I think with his size and his skating ability, I think needs a little work. Skating needs a little work, But I think with his size, I think he also is on that list of you probably could be a little bit more physical. You got the 6'2", you got the 185, you got a solid NHL body. You should be using that to your advantage, because I think we talked about that before when we did the centers, where when you have a player that's really, really tall and big, they play differently when they're in juniors because they can overpower the players because they're so much taller. Well, you get into the big leagues, man, the guys are the same size as you now. You're not going to be able to just overpower somebody just because you're 6'4" and they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So,
this generation, just to be fair, like they're teaching stick disruption and everything else
yeah.
more than like plastering them into the boards or pinning them in the boards. There's guys that'll do it, but there's not as many.
Yeah, when we talk about Dax and Rudolph, he's one of those ones I think that's doing that
Hmm.
exactly. But I do like him. I think he needs to be a little bit more physical. He's very offensive. He plays in all situations. Got a good shot. Yeah, I'd go with Chase Reed.
Yeah, I go back and forth on this because Chase Reed in the USHL for Waterloo, he played 10 games, but he didn't have a point. And then he
It's on the
went
weekends,
back.
probably.
Yeah, so but the thing is,
No, that's how
it,
they, when he's going to high
Yeah,
school, like they go and
yeah,
they play on the weekend, they travel, and then they go back to their high school team.
cool.
That's what
Yeah,
usually happens.
well, I was talking to Brock Otten, who does like a lot of OHL scouting for McKean's, And what he was telling me was Chase Reed was actually his number one OHL player. And he goes back to the USHL because he was a completely different player. If you watch the USHL Chase Reed and you watch the OHL of last year, it's a completely different player. I will say that I do believe that he is on the list for me of guys that could have point regression this year because he
Ooh,
had an
okay.
absolutely incredible season last year, but a lot of it, I do believe a couple of those points, obviously, they're always like that, but they were a little cheapy points, like secondary assists that he was no longer in the play
Oh,
and things
really? You're
like
going to be a
that.
secondary assist guy now? I'm
Well,
not that guy.
I will say that from the 40 points that he had in 39 games, I do not know if he's going to replicate the point per game season. That's just what I will go on record of saying. But the thing is, it's not that he's not a good player and offensively. I don't know if it's going to like translate. And I do think that it was just a fantastic season in the OHL with the Sioux last year. It's not like he's a bad player, and I do think he's going to be a top 10 pick at the end of the year. And the fact that, people like Brock Otten are calling him the best player in the OHL when you have Ryan Robrick and Ethan
Hmm.
over there, who's awesome. Both guys
Although
six
we hear
four,
things
six
about
five.
Robert where he plays when he wants to play.
Actually haven't heard that, so that's really interesting. Wow. I need to look at that. But yeah, for me, I would have Rudolph over Reed, but it's just a player. Like for me, I think Daxon Rudolph reminds me of like a low end, like poor man's. I would think like Drew Doughty, where that was kind of his player comp for himself, but it's like
Yeah.
very stylistic, but it's not there. Like he's obviously not Drew Doughty, but you can see that kind of 25 minutes a night kind of guy potential. But I do think that his floor is top four. With Reed, I do think that there's a little more risk to reward though. But Chase Reed, I would not be surprised if he was the better defenseman than Daxon Rudolph, but it's just so close at this time. But I really want to see a replicated season of what he had in the OHL last year. Like there are some guys that definitely need to have a better season. He just needs to have the exact same season that he had last year because he played phenomenal.
Here's what I would say about Rudolph and why I have him next. His release needs to be better. It's not the fastest release, and I think that's part of it for me because if I'm going to invest that much into a defenseman, I got to know that he can get the puck off his stick quick because otherwise it's going to get blocked. And that doesn't help anybody. So I think that's my only thing. And then, but as far as his passing goes, like he's tremendous. I mean, he's a really skilled passer, great skater. But yeah, the release is the one thing that has me. He sees the ice well too. I like the way Rudolph sees the ice.
Of all the things to have a knock on Rudolph and that being his release on his shot, because quite frankly, I think he has a really good shot. Um, and he even said that he's a pass first guy. He's coming up the ice, and the first thing he's thinking is pass, right? He's trying to set up his teammates. So, I mean,
Yeah, but
okay,
it's just the amount of time on his stick. It's not that he has a good shot or a bad shot. His shot's good, but there gets to be a
I
point
got you.
when, yeah, when you move up,
You need
you
that
need to get
release,
it
and it
off.
needs to be quick. It needs to be decisive. It needs to be
Yes.
on point, right? So that'll come, I think, as far as because we all know it takes defensemen a little longer
Hmm.
to get rolling. But I think he plays really, really well on the power play. I really like him on the power play.
Hmm.
And I just think when I asked him about his physical game, he came out and told me, he said he would much rather take away time and space.
Yeah, he's a better stick guy. He wins almost all his stick battles.
And that's what I wanted to get into is the fact that he's not necessarily being the physical guy, 6'2", 202 pounds. He's a little heavier than Reed, but he's not using that like he's trying to smash guys off the puck.
Right.
He's trying to take the puck off of them and use that finesse so that he can skill the puck back to either his zone or to another player.
From the second half of the season last year, Daxon Rudolph looked like a different guy. So
Yeah,
if
he
you
did.
look at his playoff stats and what he did for Prince Albert in the playoffs, and then what he took to a Hlinka Gretzky Cup when he had 2 goals, 2 assists in 5 games. This guy is some guy that I think could get 75 plus points. I think that he can actually top what Jackson Smith did last year. And being a right-handed defenseman with that defensive ability too, I think that he's going to showcase more of his shot as well because I do think that there's so much offensive potential here. That's the only reason I have him over Chase Reed, and I think Chase Reed's tremendous. I think Chase Reed would have been. I mean, there's a case for all these guys to have been the top right-handed defenseman last year in last year's draft, just because of how good they are. I think
Hmm.
Mirko went first because of his player profile of being
Yeah,
six
he's
six.
big. I mean, that's a big thing.
Yeah, but all of these guys, in my opinion, are in my like more offensively skilled than a Redeemer. I think that obviously
Yeah.
you have a guy like Logan Hensler who was highly touted before, so any like that could happen to a lot of these guys. But the only like added like benefit is that they're not jumping to the NCAA. The only one that's jumping to the NCAA is Verhoff, which I do believe is going to a better fit than Hensler did with Wisconsin.
Oh,
So
yeah, there's no doubt. I mean,
yeah,
that's a
Yeah.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that
Okay.
I think he should have went to Minnesota. I will just say that one last time. Like Logan Hensler, he was a Minnesota kid. He wanted to go there too. Then he changed his decision.
But he's a
I
kid
think
that
that it would
likes
have
a
been great.
challenge. So like
He does.
he does want to go up against the best, and he's in the best conference now.
He's
So,
great. I love him. But
that's the whole thing. He's going to try and go up against the best because that's what he wants to do.
yeah. But my
Steel
thing on
sharpens steel.
yeah,
You
that's a
know,
good
I
point.
mean, what, I mean, that's the way it is. And look, when you talk to these kids, you see the fire, you see the want to, you see the desire for these kids to where they want to, and you can see that when some of these kids got their heads screwed on, they know where they want to go, they know what they want to do, and they know how to get there. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I think it's inspiring. So
Yeah.
gives me
I want to
hope, man.
lace up
You
the skates
know,
again, and
I
yeah.
wish I could. I've
Please.
never skated in anger. I've never skated in anger. I can barely even walk, much let alone
I mean,
skate.
I do media skates. I played in media games, but I'm not a great skater.
Okay. Oh man, no, no, no.
I'm a great rollerblader. I'm good at that. I was better at
Okay.
that.
Okay.
That's awesome. Um, we gotta all jump on the ice one day,
I'll do
shoot
it.
some pucks. Yeah,
I
Oh,
I'm
still
hey,
all
have
with it
I'll
skates
lately
and
do
here.
it.
stuff.
I'll do it. I just don't know how long I'm going to be
I have a
standing
wooden
upright.
stick. I don't even have a composite stick. It's fine. I
Yeah.
don't care.
I have my Bobby Clark stick behind us here. You know what I mean? The old street hockey Bobby Clark
Oh
stick.
no, I
So
have
there you
better
go.
than that. I have a little
Oh
better than
well,
that.
all right.
I used to bring my Ryan Nugent Hopkins stick to street hockey because it was just
Had
so
that
much
curve
better
on
than the
it.
stick ones. Yeah.
I won't even say whose stick I used for street hockey because it's too long ago. Move
Okay.
on.
Okay, so next, Ryan Lynn, I think, is one guy that is most polarizing because of his size. Last year, there was no right-handed or there was no defensemen that were drafted under 6 feet, and I do think that that was a little interesting because I liked Radijevich, but that's just another story. But Ryan Lynn
I mean,
is a
I do
guy
too,
that,
but his season faded.
Yeah.
yeah, that is true. But Ryan Lynn's a guy that he has started off extremely hot, and he's took that from the Holinka. It was, 5 points in 5 games, but you could see he was on the like he was incredible in that tournament, and now he has six
Yeah.
points in 3 games already, 2 goals, 4 assists. I just really he's a -2, but I just really like that production already. Like nothing is stats surrounded. I just think that it's a really good like start to see what a defenseman his size is doing because he's going to need to put that point production up just so that he can maintain this draft slot. If he can grow another inch, which I would love to interview him and ask him if he is still growing. I mean, all these guys say they are usually, but I would love to see if he grew another
I
inch
mean,
where
but
he
you're
can just
acting
be.
like it's Jack and the Beanstalk. It's not up to him if he can
Yeah.
grow another inch.
Well, I think he should
It's
just
the
So,
try
can you
genetics.
grow
harder.
another inch now?
Yeah, go
Try
get
harder.
stretched, kid. Go get stretched.
Yeah, go get stretched. Oh, I like that. Yeah, the board stretcher.
Messi
Get
did
that.
that surgery and got like 6 inches. So
Yeah,
like,
whatever. He probably who knows how what he spent. I agree with you about Lynn, though. I do. I like him. I think he's got the best edge work out of all the guys we've talked about. The vision's great. The stick and puck control's really good. Uh, he's terrific on the power play. Do I need to see more? Yeah, I need to see more.
Yeah, I think he has really good hockey IQ too. I agree with what Russ said. He has really good vision. So he's been plus last year, and he was plus in the Gretzky Cup. So I'm agreeing also with Anthony too that I think the production will come and the pluses will come as long as he's, plays more time on the ice. If he doesn't maintain that, then I think because of that size, and if he doesn't grow, I mean, if he doesn't suddenly get that stretch, look, we all understand that 5'11" is different than 5'10" or 5'9", but with what we saw from last
Wait,
year,
I'd
there.
kill to be 5'11". I'm 5'9.5". So let's be real here.
Okay, and I'm 5'10" on a good day if I wear the right shoes. So I mean, I'd kill to be 5'11" too.
I'm 6'7".
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
In your mind, you are.
yeah. There you go. But with that being said, with Ryan Lynn, though, I think that might potentially hold him back. But everything else, I think he's got all the tools. I think he's got all the tools to be a really good defenseman and very coachable young man. And I too would like to interview him just to talk to him, just to see what he's like.
Yeah, I've been told by a lot of scouts that this guy is one of the most consistent players that they see on the ice. Every shift is, like his last. I really like that intensity when he does play like that. Like I like players that do that. The only issue would be size, but 5'11" is great. Like I would be worried if he was 5'9", putting up,
Yeah, 5'9's a bit
this.
different, sure.
Yeah, it's 5'11". The way that the NHL drafted last year is the only thing that's in my mind. But
Yeah, but
I
he's
mean,
175 now. By the time he gets around to the draft, he'll be like 180 something or
yeah.
180. Then the next year he'll be like 185, and then you're talking.
Yeah, I
Okay.
really liked watching his game. Like I was making a video around him, and I just was watching the clips for so long. He's very talented. When he has any sort of space, I think that this guy's going to be able to quarterback a power play. And
There you
you
go.
know, I definitely think that maybe not a power play one if you have Quinn Hughes on your team, but
Sure.
this he definitely can do that. I think that's in his realm of possibilities. But he's somebody that really plays hard too. Like so, I really do like that from a guy that is 5'11". Like Victor Eklund was 5'11", didn't play like he was 5'11", played like he was 6 feet. I think Ryan Lynn is in the same boat there where
Yeah,
they don't play like they're 5'11". So I think that's kind of what scouts like more want to see where
I agree.
yeah. So I know that we had Harper Levi rounding
Levi
out the
Harper,
list.
yeah.
Levi Harper, sorry. And I wanted your guys' opinion on where you guys, see his strengths, some weaknesses, and yeah, just overall
I'll
why
let
he
Ron
made the
Ron
list
can
here.
go first on this one. I don't want to hog it all. I
Oh
mean, I
no,
do, but I won't.
you. It's all good, man. Here's another one though. 5'11". Okay, and he's 174 pounds, so he's got really good speed. He skates really well. He's got a good shot as well. He's a Shattuck alum, so that speaks volumes as far as I'm concerned. That's a hockey, factory up there.
Yeah, it's a
So
great prep school. Yeah.
anybody that's got Shattuck as their part of their resume, that you got to pay attention to them guys because they're going to be really good. I thought he played really amazing in the Gretzky Cup. He had 4 goals and 1 assist for 5 points. But there and again, I think the size is going to be his issue.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't really notice his size. What I notice is that he's an excellent skater. He's terrific at bringing the puck up the ice. His outlet passes are really, really good. His vision's really good. And on the power play, he does something that I like. If you don't have that booming shot, to have like a sneaky low shot like he has on the power play is really good because sometimes it could foul up a goalie. So I like these attributes.
Yeah, I really like players that go and commit to University of Minnesota, especially right-handed defensemen, because I feel like they are a defensive factory, and it kind of allows them to take more of a step into what they're good at. Because when you go to a school like a, a school that's going to get like torched offensively and you're playing from behind and you're kind
Yeah.
of reeling a little bit, it kind of does affect your production and how you look.
Yes.
I think Minnesota just always is, like they have Maceo Phillips coming there, they have Jacob Rombach, they
Yeah.
had Sam Renzel. Uh, it's just really, really great players that they keep bringing in, and he's one of them. During the Holinka, he was
Jackson LaCombe, too,
fantastic.
don't forget him.
Yeah, that's also like. and he's great. He
He
very
is. He
underrated.
people
Yeah,
haven't really still even caught on to Jackson
Yeah,
LaCombe yet. I don't think.
there you go.
he's very
You
good.
heard it here first, folks. There
Yeah,
No, you haven't
you
heard it here first. I've
Breaking
had
news! Breaking
no,
news!
it's not breaking news. I've had him on my website on Sportsology forever
Yeah, no,
because he
I
was
know.
on the national team and played in
Yep.
tournaments, and so yeah, I've been on him the same way that Anthony's been on Sam Rinzel. I've been high on Rinzel too. So yeah, I mean, you get these guys, and yeah, I think Minnesota. You're right. They always do fall behind offensively, so the defensemen have a chance to shine there. Really,
and Saginaw is a really great program. I really do like what they do. Obviously, you had two Sharks prospects now, Michael Misa and Igor Chernyshov there,
yeah.
and I just
And
4 points
Chernisov
in
got a
four
raw
games.
deal. He should have been a first rounder. He had
I
that talent.
completely agree.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
agree.
was surprised um the Blackhawks had traded up into the first round, and I thought it was for Igor. Everybody kind of thought that if you were on X that day because they were like
I mean, it was just
chanting
like the
it.
Leafs went safe, so then that hurt them,
Yeah.
and Edmonton went big at the end, so then it's like, all right, I guess Chernisov will be that next guy off the board in the second round, and
Yeah,
he was.
and then I believe the Hurricanes traded again out and got they wanted Chernyshov, but they ended up getting two first round picks basically with Nikita Artemonov, and everybody was like, how did they get him again? So at like pick 50. So you know that was a really weird draft. I felt
It
like a
was.
lot of players did fall, but I will say for Harper, like Levi Harper, he's a player that shined when it really, really mattered, and I think that confidence went with him during this
A
season.
lot of
And
people
he's,
noticed him in that tournament.
yeah,
Like I was getting
Yeah.
texts about him.
yeah, that's good to
Wow.
know. Like this guy is somebody like he could go. I mean, I'm not going to project because it's just a throw, like a
Players
dart
talk
throw.
about him. I could tell you that
Yeah,
with great certainty because that's I started to hear that through other people, through players that they talked about him.
When other players talk about other players, yeah, yeah, you need to be, yeah, that's, hey, listen to what they're saying because they
Yeah,
usually,
I tune
you
into
know what I
those
mean?
things. I
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's why I think it's really important whenever, like, I'm interviewing someone that I ask, like, who's the best player you've ever played against or something
Yeah,
like that, because I do think that does matter.
it does.
And a lot of
Players see things that sometimes we don't on the ice.
And
yeah,
I like to ask him, like, who on your team is somebody you would not want to play against?
that's a good one.
Do you know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
is there somebody out there that you know what I mean you would like to have on your team?
yeah.
You know, yeah. So and they always have a couple of names they rattle off, you know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah. No, players will tell you like it is.
Yeah, and he like scores some pretty ones too. Like this guy has
He does.
offensive skill off the chart. So he's going to be in the highlight reel a lot, and I think that kind of builds volume for players' hype after in
Yeah.
during the draft year when things happen. He's
I mean, it's a good
and
selection of right-handed shot defensemen. These aren't
yeah,
all
it
of them,
is.
but they have a good selection of them in this draft, and that's important.
Right. And I think we talked about five of some of the best ones I think that we're gonna see, I think, in this draft.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that they're we're definitely missing a couple of them, but
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
just top five, and it's just not the top five. We're just picking five that we wanted to talk about that think
That
they
we
should be
actually all
highlighted.
agreed on. We
Right.
all agreed on this top five, by the way.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You know, if Levi Harper goes 40th overall, that's fine, but it still doesn't mean I might not put him in this list still, because I probably would.
Right. There you go.
Yeah,
There you
the
have it.
4 goals at Helenka definitely raised
Yeah.
eyebrows, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
had to talk about him a little bit.
Yes, I
But
think so.
yeah, this is what we do. So we rank some players, we talk about some players. Thank you guys for checking us out, and definitely look at all these guys' socials. They're going to be in the description below. Definitely like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and check out Draft Prospects Hockey. Thank you guys.